Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Neo, East, and Jam Show featuring Liz.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Happy Mother's Day.
All right, my name is Neo. We have East.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Jam.
HMD, y'all. HMD.
And of course, the Liz.
Hello, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to all the lovely mothers out there. Hope you have had a wonderful day so far.
Yes, definitely want to wish everyone happy Mother's Day. Just to give you a little background on the show, we're four friends from high school, very different opinions. From everything, we deal with everything from politics, pop culture, sports, you name it, we'll talk about it. Now, we have a really good show today. It is Mother's Day, so we're asking a really tough question. Is it okay to hate your mother? Yeah. So, we'll also start off with some Shhmokin Hot Topics. We'll talk Michael Flynn. We'll show a new video on the Arbery murder. And then some strange things happening over in Russia. And a fun one, we'll talk about an orgy and a gun.
Right? An orgy and a gun.
Talk about orgies on the Sabbath. My goodness.
And then we'll close the episode out with a game, most likely to. Now, we do have one rule for the show, no cussing. So, James, you want to go over what happens if we're cussing?
First off, if you guys need to know what a cuss word is, look to Liz or East. For those of us who know, there are no cuss words during this show. If someone does cuss, they have to pay $10. That's two of these hands. It's two of these hands. And if they do it, you want to pay more?
What about profanity?
Profanity is cussing.
That's cussing.
Semantics. All right,
so if three times any of us happen to curse
in the same episode, right?
In the same episode, the other co-hosts get to create a post for that person and put it online.
So this.
Yes. So far, in case you were unclear as to how much everybody owed at $10.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
$10 profane word. You'll notice Liz is in the lead.
Yes.
Let those,
lie.
Definitely in the lead.
Oh,
that's a lot.
Heavy D said no, don't cuss. I know that. That's what I know.
What did that have?
All right.
That's it.
All right, cool. So, why don't we start out with some shout-outs?
All right. Well, I'd like to definitely give a shout-out to Ayana and company. That y'all came through. Thank you so much for the work you've done for the show. They helped us with this new
Thanks, Yana.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yana and her daughters, Miana and Yamaya, both helped with the promotional videos. Just to let you know, in case you guys didn't know, Ayana is another one of our friends from high school, from Wilson Tiger, and she owns a gym in Waldorf. It's called My Gym. It's actually a gym for kids. So teach fitness to kids. They're actually offering virtual classes right now. So you can go online and have your kids take some virtual fitness classes. Just go to mygym.com/Waldorf. Again, thank you guys.
Thanks, Shana.
Thank you.
Thank you again. I would also like to send a special rest in peace to Andre Harrell. If you're not familiar with him, he's a producer. Little Richard. Little Richard passed as well this weekend. We had a classmate, our Wilson mate, Roberto Cruz passed. And Betty Wright. And Betty Wright. So, singer of No Pain, No Gain.
And the clean up woman.
Some people would take notes. All right.
Alright, and thanks for everyone who's online right now. So make sure you leave your comments in the comment section. Go onto the live feed. Leave your comments.
Yeah.
You can do it on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook page. We want to see
Let us know you're here.
We want to see your
Let us know you're
comments at the top of the page up here, guys. All right.
Let us know you're here.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to some Shhhmokin Hot Topics.
All right. Shhhmokin Hot. What you got now, Liz?
I'm out. I just said smoking.
All right. So first off, we visited the Michigan activists, and we were concerned about the fact that there were so many people not of color running around with guns into the Capitol, out of the Capitol. I thought this was interesting. One of the representatives of Michigan, Sarah Anthony, had I don't know if she received an offer or a crew joined her, but this is her brigade that escorts her now into work. And
You notice they didn't pull up. You notice they didn't pull up.
I also noticed they're doing more in the picture by being on the cell, but anyway.
There is not a member of the other side in her face. This is what it's come to, people. The revolution is being televised.
And live stream.
And live.
So yeah, what do y'all think about this? What? I know I was happy.
I'm not surprised. This is kind of like almost going back to the '60s with the Black Panther movement. We had to protect our own. I mean, this is what it's like. Liz said, this is what it's come to. You gotta almost fight fire with fire. I am not surprised.
Heck yeah.
And I'm waiting for the fight. I mean, I'm waiting to watch it. I don't want to be there.
We're not talking like gun battles. You're talking about fights intellectually, right?
Unfortunately, it may be a little bit of both. Yeah, I think it might be a little bit of both. I mean, they're shooting folks down in the road, trying to jog, you know. So at some point, it might get ugly. It might get ugly.
I would like to point out, I did find out that it is legal to carry guns in Michigan's capital, although they are trying to pass a law to ban that because it's a little off the hook.
That is off the hook.
In my opinion, it is off the hook.
That's off the hook.
Next, here's something for you politicophiles. Michael Flynn. They're trying to. The Justice Department is trying to pardon him.
Wait, no. They didn't try to pardon. They dropped the charges altogether.
And they dropped the charges.
But it still has to be approved by the presiding judge, who dismissed the first two instances where they tried to do the exact same thing. This topic really got underneath my skin this week because you have people who were focusing on, oh, well, the FBI should have done this and should have done that. Listen, let's not turn Michael Flynn into a martyr. He is a lying ass criminal. 100%.
Hold on. I think I need to update. the scoreboard.
Please do. She used the word "in" very
He admitted lying to the feds twice. Pled guilty to it twice. And no one told him to talk to the feds without representation. He told he could have gone in there with a lawyer who would have told him, keep your mouth shut. Instead, he was trying to garner a deal for both himself and his son, who were going to be brought up on other charges. So this is all, a failed attempt once again by the Trump administration. Trump, who is now saying, oh yeah, he's exonerated. He's a good person. I will hire him again. That just shows you the type of people that he runs with, that he thinks are good people. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Only the best people.
Oh, go ahead.
No, he said only the best people. He got exonerated. The best people.
It's also interesting with this particular filing. If you go into the weeds a little bit, they none of the other prosecutors have signed off on it. Normally, when this process occurs, other prosecutors in the office will sign off on it. No one will touch it. Only Trump has one guy in there, and the guy who's a political appointee he used the former person. He used their number to file it. So they have to refile this same form again for this request before the judge even gets a chance to be like, really? Crazy. Crazy. Which they were taking in. Anyway. I'm going to the weeds. All right, next for you. This is one of my favorites. I don't know how y'all feel about, how shall we say, serendipity, coincidence. But the last 3 doctors who have been on calls are reached out to their higher-ups, talking or complaining about the lack of PPE, have fallen out of the window within roughly, and this is just within roughly an hour of when those calls occurred. Now, I haven't done a study, but I'm not sure I've ever heard specifically of a doctor falling out of a 2nd or 5th floor window. Just out
let alone 3. Let alone 3.
3. One's lived so far. The other 2, I'm sorry that they haven't made it. But I just know when I walk into my boss's office, I'm not complaining about PPE.
So are we saying that the Russian government is doing this?
I'm saying these doctors are falling out of the windows after they missed it.
I'm saying the Russian government is doing this. They shot a Ukraine plane out of the sky. Hello, they are not above calling people out, killing people, slitting throats, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, they took a chunk of Crimea. Saying, but still, I'm not saying that.
How long before the third doctor succumbs to his or her injuries?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean,
he actually retracted his statement the day it happened.
Yeah.
He tried to save himself.
Yeah, that morning he retracted his statement, and then suddenly he was thrown out the window. I'm sorry, he fell out of a window.
He had counted wrong, and he wanted to make up for it. So, I mean, he's miscount. So, we had 50 more men. I just didn't see him. Oh. Anyway.
I want to point out that Tasha was talking about the Malcolm and Martin, about the militia in Michigan. She said Martin is great, but this time calls for Malcolm.
We're right there at the cusp, it seems like.
So it looks like.
Can't argue with you, Tasha. Can't argue with you. All right. So we're up to the Arbery killers. I'm gonna leave this one to you, Nia.
Oh yeah. So, in case you didn't know, so we had Ahmaud Arbery was recently gunned down by these 2, Gregory and Travis McMichael, father and son. I'm sure most of you are aware, but apparently we come across this, and there's an actual page calling for justice for Gregory and Travis. And if you read, it says about these are 2 God-fearing men who were only trying to protect their neighborhood. This area had a string of break-ins, and this man fit the description. I mean, they literally put that in their description of the page.
I mean,
so, what do we think about that?
I'm trying to suppress my first word, so
I feel safer knowing that page is out there, because the Georgia Bureau of Investigation pulled them up in the Bama who recorded the call, who's also a part of their neighborhood, concerned about person of interest. So F them all. I mean, that was big. Yes, F them all.
$10. So what's interesting about that particular page is that a lot of Black people, a lot of people who are calling for justice in this particular incident have infiltrated the page. Like initially, they really weren't screening the people that they accepted to the page. So I've seen a lot of Black folks who have joined the group, who have joined the page, and then they have started posting all of the awful commentary, pictures, and comments that have been posted on that page. So we are taking everything back. We are trying to have some justice for this young man. He was out on a job. And they, without question, 100% hunted him down, stalked him, and shot him a couple of times until he died.
Yeah. Now, there is a new video out that I want to share with you guys. Now, it's not of a shooting, so don't worry, Liz. You won't be too shocked. But it's a video of Arbery, apparently before the shooting. They're not 100% sure this is Arbery, but he was inside of a construction site just before. Right? So, what do we think about this?
At best, that's trespassing. At best, that's the biggest argument that you could have for him doing something that he should have been doing in that situation. Still, that does not warrant being shot down in the middle of the street like a dog. For example, so when I first moved into this apartment, Southwest, the apartment next door to me, the guy that moved out right as I was moving in, he didn't lock the apartment. So it was open, you could literally just walk in. Well, I would say maybe 2 weeks. So yeah, I went in just to see what the apartment looked like, just to see what the bigger version of my apartment was, what it looked like, what it entailed, whether or not I wanted to upgrade in the future. Does that mean that someone should have come in after me with a shotgun and shot me down like a dog in the street? No, absolutely not. If they felt that they were in jeopardy, at the very least, they should have just called the police. And the one guy that did call the police, all he was able to tell 911 was, there's a black man running down the street. And you heard the 911 operator asking, what else is he doing? Has he committed a crime? Silence. That's all they could come up with. There's a black man running down the street. Yeah. So this just goes to show you that they were on the hunt. They wanted to kill a black person that particular day.
On top of that, I want to point out, and actually Kevin and Natasha were both saying that on Facebook, it doesn't look like him to me. I mean, that might be the guy that they thought Arbery was, to be honest with you. Now, I did hear that the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, they apparently knew about this video before they decided to arrest McMichaels, the McMichael father and son. So they were quite aware of this video, and they still found the grounds to arrest him.
Yeah, just to agree with Liz, it's like, so. I mean, if it's not him, if it is him, and I see that we got 2 viewers who said that's not him. But like Liz said, at best that's a citation, and you get to go home. That's not worthy of a gun battle in the street.
Wait, a citation from the police? Because there weren't no police
from
there.
The police, right? And call the police.
And they might not have even given him the citation. They probably would have said, "What are you doing here? This is private property. Leave."
Country act.
Right.
So. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason he should have been gunned down. I mean, no one should be gunned down in that way.
So, I'm gonna move us on, y'all, because we got a heavy show for you today. Last one, just because y'all asked for it. You wanted sex, you wanted violence, non-African American sort of.
Sex.
You definitely asked for an orgy. I heard you with the gun, Here we are.
Woo! Is there enough time today to discuss all of the salaciousness of this topic?
Let's go for it.
Go, Sheridan. You start.
No problem. Seems like Earl Thomas was trying to celebrate Mother's Day in a different way for his wife.
Let me do low-key music in the back. Keep going.
Earl Thomas' wife.
Set you up.
Earl Thomas's wife caught him and his brother in bed with at least 2 women, and she and the people that she brought pulled out a gun and pointed it at his head. A loaded gun, if I might point out.
Wait, so did she point the gun, or was it her friends that pointed the gun?
Oh, it was her.
Okay,
it was the wife.
From what I read, she pointed the gun. Now, from what I've also read, she didn't believe it was loaded. She was apparently just trying to scare him.
Okay.
But
there's always one in the chamber.
One in the chamber. And yeah, I mean, he could have got McNair that night. Thank goodness that she didn't pull the trigger, or there was an accident, because he would be out of here. Police came. She was arrested, I believe, for burglary and aggravated assault.
Aggravated assault.
Wasn't there a knife involved and some chasing involved?
Later, the story goes that once Earl Thomas took the gun from his wife, she started chasing him with the knife.
Oh wow!
Ah, there we go.
Oh, it was
ran away.
Yes. It was a
hot mess.
right.
Hot mess. But let's just add a little context or background to the union between Earl Thomas and his wife. It's not like Earl Thomas isn't a known philanderer, a known cheater. One of his mistresses showed up to the wedding when they got married in 2016. That's how much of a dog this person is. There are pictures. There's a website now that has highlighted all of the chicks that he has been having relations with over the past 2 months. One of the young ladies who was there for this particular incident told the police that she has been sleeping with Earl for the past 2 months. Everyone knows that he is a cheater. So he's been doing this. So I'm not quite sure why this incident was the one that put the wife over the edge. But let me just let all of my friends, my lady friends out there know, even my guy friends, may be involved with someone who is cheating on them. Don't call me up for this BS. I am not rolling with you to go hunt him down, to pull a gun on him or whatever. When you knew what you were getting into from start, from jump. It's been happening over and over. This happened on April 13th. On April 28th, Earl Thomas was in LA with one of his IG girlfriends. Okay? On his birthday, a couple of days ago.
What's an IG girlfriend?
Instagram girlfriends. Thankfully, you don't know what that means. That means you don't have an Instagram girlfriend. But on April 28th,
are we certain?
Oh, well, I'm not trying to call you out. Put him on blast.
My name is Jam.
But yeah, he was in LA with one of his IG girlfriends on April 28th. On his birthday, a couple of days ago, he posted on his Instagram a TikTok video of him dancing with a bunch of girls. None of them are his wife. So this has been a repeated pattern for this young man. So, I mean, fall in line, honey. Fall in line, sister. This is what you signed up for. And none of us, no one, whether it's a male or a female, should be willing to commit murder over an affair. They have 3 young children at home. So if Earl had died and she had gone to jail for murder, who's going to take care of the babies? You're going to give up your freedom for this fool? No, ma'am.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you are suggesting that it's okay, or she should have accepted that he was cheating.
She should not go to the extreme of risking her freedom for a dude that's been cheating on her since even before they got married. What she should have done was rolled up into that residence with a video camera, recorded the orgy, sold it to TMZ. That's how you get back at, because he hasn't changed. He hasn't done anything differently since April 13th and this April happened.
He went to LA, played different music, danced with different women. Why are you pressuring people? Man.
I mean, come on, we got to know how to play the game, ladies. We got to know how to play the game. And as a sports journalist, you all know that I have been around numerous athletes, their wives, and their mistresses. I've been to games where the wife has been on one side of the arena, the girlfriend has been on the other, and then they want to fight in the tunnel before you get to the locker room. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. Trust me. Trust me. He basically, Earl Thomas is community heinous. There's no need to fight over community heinous.
So, are you saying that you're not saying that she knew what she was signing up for?
I think she did.
That's what it said, like she said.
The wedding. One of his missions showed up to the wedding.
She wanted to get on the Titanic. The captain told her he was going to sink it, and she was like, "I'm going.
So Liz, let me ask you a question of you. You think it was just, and I know we don't know, it's just all speculation, but do you think that the number of people he cheated with just might have pushed her over the edge? Like, oh, you cheated with 25 women, so 26 when I can't handle it. Yeah.
That's the needle.
I mean, he was cheating. They've been together since high school. So they were together, they went to high school in Texas. He went to the University of Texas. So we're talking high school, college, when he was in Seattle, and now he's in Baltimore. And this begs the question, what's up with the Ravens and their crazy players and their domestic issues?
I mean, we call this a domestic issue. I mean, I know he was cheating, but what did he do? It's not like he attacked her in some way.
That's the thing that I saw. The NFL was investigating this as a domestic issue.
Right.
I mean, he got
the
domestic
issue.
on him.
It's a domestic issue that it's domestic violence. Yeah. Do I think he should be cut by the Ravens?
They were talking about that. They were literally talking about trying to cut him. What did
and that's another thing for the wife. He just signed a contract with $35 million guaranteed.
Right.
Come on, hit him where it hurts. Hit him where it hurts.
So you're saying just take his money and leave.
Call it
a day. All right.
Call it a day. Call it a day.
All right. We got Liz's perspective.
Definitely don't put a gun on him.
No. Because he's very fortunate that she didn't shoot him and kill him.
Right.
And from what the reports I saw, because one of the young ladies that was there in bed with him took video, and supposedly you can see in the video that she has her finger on the trigger. Like, come on, it's not worth it. It is so not worth it.
She got her TMZ payday. Okay, that works out for everybody then. Okay.
Well, he hasn't posted the video yet. I've been waiting for that.
Oh.
Earl said pray for him and his family.
Yes.
What do these things happen, Earl? Where?
He left that community.
You gonna drop some prayers for him?
I'm going to the 6 o'clock service. Everything going on in the world today. Everything going on in the world today. I'm praying for Earl Thomas.
Before we shut down Smoking Hot Topics, I just want to add one more. So last night there was this epic versus battle between Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. Apparently they had at some point more than 730,000 viewers, which means they had well over 1 million throughout the night. It was an incredible battle. So did anyone else see it?
I logged in for some of it. It was intermittently for me.
I was paying for Earl.
Erykah Badu was late.
Yes. She also lost her iPad died halfway through.
Her iPad died. She looked a little crazy. Jill Scott looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not really. I love both of these ladies. I love both of their music, their input, their voices, their talent. As women, that's a whole other story. But Jill came. Jill was ready. She came. She was beautiful. I think the thing that kind of detracts me from wanting to be a part of these battles, I don't necessarily like all of the talking. And I just want to talk more, sit and play your music. But I heard it was great.
It was great. I saw most of it.
I probably saw like total maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's the biggest battle of them all.
But I mean, at least, you know, would you say that it was better than Teddy Riley and Babyface?
I actually didn't see all of Teddy Riley and Babyface, but personally, I like these two artists better, so for me, it was better.
Yeah.
I don't think you could. I think the biggest thing for Teddy Riley, you really couldn't hear his music, so that was something that just kind of put him on the downward spiral on the big.
No jam.
But yeah, I'm glad the ladies are out there representing and, you know, showing what they got, showcasing their music. Hopefully, for the next go round, we will be on time.
Erica?
Not tardy.
Laura Hill, whatever.
I mean,
they would still be waiting for Laura Hill.
And yes, Tasha, it was amazing. You need to check it out. I don't know if they have a replay or something, but it was pretty amazing.
It's on YouTube.
She followed that with an exclamation. I think
some
she just
version
missed
on YouTube.
So you saw it, East?
Yeah, I saw about the same amount of time as Liz. I mean, there was so much genuine love between the two of them.
It was.
It's like
It wasn't a battle.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was about to say, like they might have to do away with the term battle or verses or whatever, because it was just like I thought they were going to start singing a duet or something.
Oh yeah, that's what Tasha's just saying. Saying the same thing.
Weren't they both on the same track for the Roots?
Yeah, matter of fact, this is what they did. Like Erica played like the album version, then Jill played the live version that she sung.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like back to back. I mean, it was great. Like they both have. I mean, they both have hits for days.
Yes.
I mean, it was a good event. I'm not going to call it a battle or versus. It was a good event.
It was.
And I just like the positive energy between those two, like especially at these times.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a nice event.
Now I think it's time. Neo.
Oh,
Question of the day.
big question of the day. All right.
Let me sit down. Let me put my seatbelt on.
All right. So let's get to the question. So yes, everyone, it's Mother's Day. You know, beautiful day to celebrate our moms, and so
Hey, Mom.
yeah, we're asking the question: is it okay to hate your mom? Yeah. So almost everyone has said at some point in their lives that you know, they hate their mom. Most times it's like fleeting. You know, the mom yelled at them, or maybe they took something from them, or they spanked them, and then they hate their mom. Or maybe they got involved in a relationship, and now they hate their mom because they did something, right? But for some, those feelings never go away. They hold grudges for years. Some people, you know, hate their mom so much it lasts years, right? So
Scott has a song about it.
and with some of those people, like a day like today, they don't even speak to their mothers today on Mother's Day. Now, something doesn't feel right about that. So I need you guys to help me understand something. Is it okay to hate your mother? And I'll start with East on this one.
Who you pointing
Just give me yes or no. What do you think? Is it okay to hate your mother?
Short answer, yes.
Okay.
And we can delve into more detail as we go along.
All right. Liz?
Hell yeah!
Okay. All right. And Jan?
Maybe your mama, but now mama.
All right. So. All right. So a lot of people say that, you know, family is everything, right? And family is everything. You must, you know, love your mom. Your mom birthed you. Your mom, you know, is the one who brought you into this world. So, East, you know, why is it okay for someone to hate their mother?
First of all, let me say that I love my mother. But from what I've seen, especially professionally, um, a lot of women, mothers, were ill-equipped to be mothers when they gave birth to children, and they never learned the skills. They never took the time to understand all of the attributes it took to be a good mother. It takes more than just buying a kid sneakers and clothes and all of that. It's a lot of nurturing that needs to occur. A lot of time. It's a lot of energy. It's a full-time job. I mean, you go out and work and then come home. Like, that's just, all mothers have two jobs. The one that pays them, and then the one where you gotta take care of your kids. I mean, there's a lot that goes into motherhood, and sometimes women some mothers fall short. Not just fall short. They don't even come close to what it takes to be a good mother.
So Liz, if someone says, that, no one has a right to hate their parents, what do you say to that? Is that fair?
No, it's not fair, and I think that in itself is a very judgmental statement, not knowing what this particular the individual situation is. I think a lot of people get, and back to the semantics again, I think a lot of people get caught up in the word hate. I can't tell you the number of times that I've heard from so many people, well, you don't actually hate that person. Hate is such a strong word. Well, love is a strong word to you. And if I can love somebody, I can certainly hate somebody. It doesn't mean if I say I hate this person, I hate that person, I hate this action, I hate this thing, it doesn't mean that it is consuming me 24 hours of the day. It doesn't mean that it is an active action on my part. But it means that I have the adverse reaction to love, which is hate. I grew with a mother who was very difficult. We had a very, from the moment I came out of it was a very difficult situation. My mother passed away in 2013, and at that time we hadn't spoken for almost 2 years. And up until that point, I mean, we went several years without speaking. It was a very abusive relationship. It was a relationship where I often felt like my mother needed me. But I think people need to take into consideration, like Sheridan said, there are some people who are ill-equipped to be mothers. There are some people who are mothers who are very dangerous and damaging to their children. And their children are the ones who have to carry the weight of that. It almost reminds me of my situation in particular. Reminds me of the character of Troy Maxson from the play Fences, in which you had a father who, when the son asked him, "Why don't you love me?" the father's reaction was, "What do I need to love you for? I'm responsible for you. I put a roof over your head. I put clothes on your back. I put food on your table." Well, that's no different than a warden in prison. The warden does the exact same thing for inmates in prison. But you need to have him for someone who loves you, someone who nurtures you, someone who comforts you. The best thing a person gets in their childhood is to know that their home and the parents in their home are going to treat them better than anything that they get on the outside. And if you don't have that, then that's when you have a problem. That's when the hate starts to manifest. I don't live my life every day consumed with hate from my mother. I don't. However, it was a very difficult relationship with a lot of people in my house. Did not like each other. Do I think she hated me? I can't answer that from her. Did she act like she hated me? Absolutely. Was she verbally abusive? Absolutely. Was she physically abusive? Absolutely. And so, you can't blame a child who's in a situation like those situations that are 1,000 times worse than you. You can't blame them for hating the person who's toxic and who's causing them so much pain.
Okay. Jam, so listening to what Liz said, and you said you love your mom. So So no hate for your mom. I love your mom too.
Thank you. I know you do.
But with that being said, what do you think about what Liz said? Should we be respecting even people that have abusive situations or difficult situations with their parents? Should they still love and cherish their mothers?
I think you can. There are two ways. I have two answers for you. First off, Liz, if you want me to listen to you and respect what you have to say, speak into the microphone. Secondly,
You gave me the microphone.
I think it's very much about what happens with your relationship with your parents. Like, you start off with your mom and you have whatever's there, whatever they have. Like, if you're that first child or the parent is that type, sometimes they have to grow with you because that's life. Like, and then by the time we're our age, you see that relationship has changed and you guys have become something else. I think those are some of the better relationships. But to speak directly to what Liz was saying, there are always influences in your life that you have to make a decision about, or they determine negatively what becomes of you. And a parent, a mother, is no exception from that. Like, they can provide the minimum, and so what do you get from that but the minimum? You have to learn to create all the abundance from that. You have to learn to do that. And so simply, is it okay to hate them? It's okay. Is it the best solution? I don't think so. There are a million other ways to approach that relationship, even if it's not dealing with it, than to embrace that hate. I think that's a bit of what Tasha was saying. Like,
so do you feel hate is too strong? The word hate is too strong?
No. I just think it's a waste of energy. Do you think it's a waste of energy to hate that dude? Yeah, after the 10th year, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and not hate him.
But it's not like it was any energy that I put out. Like, again, it's not like I was living, especially as an adult. Once, I left home at 18 after we graduated from high school. She's one of the reasons why I didn't go to college in DC. Why I went to Finland after I needed to get away. But it wasn't something that consumed me or that took up a lot of my energy. It actually brought me down more when people were expecting me to show love towards this person. That's what dragged me down. Especially a person who wasn't trying to show any love in return. So then you have to fake it because you have all these people telling you, well, that's your mom. Doesn't matter, that's your mom. You're supposed to love them no matter what. And it just, to me, that just doesn't really make any sense.
Liz, if you could turn down the volume a little bit, not on the mic, on your speaker. So with that being said, okay, so I think what I'm hearing from Jam is when you're saying it's a waste of energy, you're saying that it hurts the individual, right?
Yeah, my take is, even like Liz said, there's a situation where somebody's like, yeah, you know how you really need to think, Liz? This is what you really need to think. You need to think like me. That's the stuff you don't need to worry about. But if you give all the energy into the hate, then that's where you focus. You carry that around with you. That's just stress and nonsense.
Let me go to you. So what do you think? Do you think that energy, that anger, is detrimental not to the parent but to the child that's upset?
I think so, because cause part of what I wanted to address, I saw some comments about how hate is a negative emotional energy that, and I'm paraphrasing. I think what needs to happen is come to some type of resolution with the relationship between you as an adult and your parent, as your mother, in order to kind of positively move on emotionally. Just in my estimation, like Liz said, she's not actively hating. Like, I hate my mother all the time. It's just, like you said, the opposite of love is hate. And I think, and I know Liz can speak for herself, but I think that's the way she's chosen to resolve her relationship with her mother at the time. And I think as a person who might have a negative relationship with your mother, I think that's the way to go. Is that you got to resolve it for what it is. You got to, at a certain point, you see your mother for who she really is. Like, that's more than, that's not just the woman that gave birth to you. That's a person struggling just like everybody else in certain aspects. Or maybe she had issues in her childhood that she didn't resolve.
And she did.
Like,
I mean, her mother was worse than her. Yeah, so, I totally agree with that. Yeah. I mean, like, she grew up in the South where, things were tough.
Mm-hmm.
Tough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not to laugh, but anything was inbounds in the South back then. Go out, get switches off the tree, like hard labor for children. Like, it was, everything was inbound. So, so once you see the situation for what it really is, I think you can move on positively and emotionally, and maybe even, for those that still have their parents, maybe even have a discussion with her about how you want the relationship to be, because some parents think, well, I'm always your parent. No, that's not the case. Like, I mean, yeah, that is the case, but this is not a child-parent relationship anymore. We're two adults, and this is the way I want my relationship to be with you.
So I want to address a comment that actually Tasha made. You can't see the entire thing up there, but she says, I was estranged from my mother for years at a time. I decided to just accept who she is and love her from a distance. I believe, as he said, some women weren't equipped to be a real mother. I forgave her for doing the best she could do with what she had, really with what she didn't have. I love her just from a distance, and it taught me how to be a great mother to my 4 girls. So I want to jump in here and kind of give a little background of my situation as well, similar to what Liz did. I'm estranged from my mother as well. Now, I had an abusive childhood growing up with my mother, physically, mentally, etc. But over time, I came to realize that my mother is human like the rest of us. She had, a difficult childhood herself. Many of her behaviors were learned. But in addition to that, I believe my mother's ill because bipolar runs in our family a lot. So in time, I learned to forgive. Now, I don't continue to maintain a relationship with my mother because it's toxic. And as an adult, I can choose not to have or be a part of a toxic relationship. That doesn't mean that I don't care or love or that I hate my mother. It just means that I've made a choice not to have that relationship in my life as an adult.
And I think I did the exact same thing, and I'm seeing some of the comments that are coming through. And again, I want to stress that when I'm talking about hate, or maybe that word is too strong for others.
We use a
but let's change it to dislike. The strong dislike that I had for my mom, I channeled that into making me crazy. I like to consider myself as someone who is self-made. I put myself through college. I put myself through grad school. I have paid I've never asked once I left the house at 18, never asked my mom for anything. Even when I thought that I should be getting care packages for you, where I thought I should be getting some help with things, even when I was first diagnosed with diabetes and was basically in the hospital about to die in New York, and I didn't get a visit from my mom, didn't get a call from my mom until a month later, I channeled that all into making myself better. And I think people need to understand and recognize that certain people are in situations where emotionally they cannot be around this person. Emotionally, yeah, you say forgive. I like to say just forget and put it to the side. I saw that Tasha explained that, she was estranged from her mom for a very long time, and she chose to love her from a distance. I would just say, for my personal situation, I didn't choose to love her from a distance. I just chose to keep my distance. Because I cannot love someone who has abused me.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that other people should take the same approach that I did. Even when my mom was still here on this earth, I didn't wish her any ill will. And the last time that I saw her, before she died almost 3 years later, we actually had a decent time. It was for my uncle's 70th birthday. Now, were we all lovey-dovey up underneath one another? No. But I think Antonio alluded to the fact, and maybe even Sheridan, that as people age, sometimes their temperaments change. And I don't think that she was that same angry person that she was when she was raising us. But sometimes there's just too much history that allows for someone to love the person that has been their abuser. And that's fine. Again, I have not lived a life where I have been consumed with a whole bunch of hate and negativity as a result of what happened, growing up with my mom. And I've had a lot of psychologists in my life. Well, even when I was at home, my parents and I, we were in therapy because of the relationship that I had with my mom. But I think for me personally, I channeled all of that hate, all of that dislike, all of that discomfort into making me a better person and making me a successful person. That's how, the only way that I could get through with it. And I've had to have conversations with people who have tried to say, but that's your mom, or you owe it to your mother. No, you didn't grow up in my household. Yeah. You didn't feel this yourself. You didn't have to deal with all of that anger. And it wasn't just me. I have 3 older siblings who are much older than I am. My mom raised, until she married my dad, my mom raised them on her own. And they got it much worse than me. Yeah. Much worse. But, I grew up in a 2-parent household, and I had a father who had a completely different approach about raising children. And I'm not going to get into that, but I was a daddy's girl. And I think that pissed her off even more. Yeah. That I had this affection and affinity for this other parent. And she and I had such an issue that whenever he was in the hospital, and it was just the 2 of us at home, it was like World War III. So that's hard to ask someone to get over, even though I like to think that I did a good job of getting over it. But yeah, I think that you have a lot of people, and it's not just mothers, it's their bad parents on both sides. We're just talking about mothers for the purposes of this particular holiday. But I think mothers are often treated with kid gloves sometimes, because there are a lot of people who've grown up without a father, and they don't get the same guilt that people who don't have relationships with their mother get. You have people whose dads have never been in their lives, they don't talk to their dad over and over, and it's never, very rarely is it, oh, but that's your dad. I used to tell people in school all the time, well, all these football players that we come into contact with who don't know their father, why aren't you asking them why they aren't calling their dads for Father's Day, but you're in my face asking me about Mother's Day? So there's a difference.
There is a difference between mothers and fathers. I mean, for example, if you told someone that your father was a pedophile and abused you sexually, and no one's going to tell you that you need to go have a relationship with that father, but a mother, sexual abuse or any kind of abuse, all abuse. A mother who's abused you, they'll still tell you that it's your mother, she birthed you, you must love your mother. And, that's not necessarily the case for everyone.
Right.
But
And I don't want to make it seem like, I am anti-mother, anti-woman. I'm so happy. I've had tons of great mothers who aren't my biological mother, but I've had tons of great women, mothers in my life, whether it's my aunts who were great, my sister who was great, my friends' mothers who were great, who have helped raise me and shape me over the years, and I'm very thankful for that. But it was a very, very difficult relationship, and I'll never sugarcoat it. I'll never apologize for it because it is my truth. And I want people who are in a similar situation to understand that you can grow from it. You can grow above it, and you can still be successful.
Agreed. Now, we're running low on time, so I want to just close this out with one last question. So there are a lot of people out there that, may not have had similar abusive situations who, maybe dislike, I'll go with dislike instead of hate, or have estranged relationships with their mothers. And, it could be, again, they spanked them as a kid, or they took something from them, or they did something relatively human. What should we be saying to those people who just have estranged relationships and were not necessarily abused as kids? Should they forgive their parents, or not being in abusive situations, should they feel the same as someone who has been abused, or should they kind of get over it, as people might say?
I think to put it into context, I guess, for myself at least, we all come to the table with our own baggage and experience. This touches on a bit of what Mike Winter has put out, the 2 statements he's made, and I think one of the most valuable opportunities we have as we get older is our ability to consider, understand, and evolve something into a way that we can deal with it as an individual. And it is that process, in my opinion, that allows us not to repeat the foibles and the irritants and the evils and the goods that our parents did, just by being able to take a moment and consider what we know, what we want, and what we don't want, and combine that into something that we can move forward with and be all right with ourselves. Being able to take that time and to consider that, I know where I was. I was a 12-year-old, and I was stealing candy, and my parent was whipping my tail, and then you grow up another 20, 30 years, and you're like, wait a minute, not only was I stealing candy, but mom and dad were trying to do this, and they had candy waiting for me. Oh, I was a real, whatever, but that ability to understand stuff from a further out distance is much more, I think it's what defines us as humans and makes us Democrats, not Republicans. Sorry.
Where'd that come from?
Babies. Anyway, is that ability to understand and be compassionate and understand empathy and create that understanding in ourselves.
East, I have one last question for you as we close it out. So, and this is more of a professional question. How would someone who's upset with their mother or parent, how do they learn to forgive if that's something they want to do?
I think the short answer is talking it out. Get a professional therapy. Try to access a counselor that can help that person resolve that relationship with his or her mother. The question you asked about the kid who can't get over being disciplined, but there's no abuse, but the mother was just trying to put her child in a better situation so that the child will do better in life. It's either say get over it, but each person is different. Some people are hypersensitive, and they'll carry that that thought with them into their adulthood can never get over it. And outside of that one situation, their mother loved them to death. But it was that one thing, that one, what they perceived as negative action, that scarred their relationship with their mother.
Take my toy train.
Right. So I think the short answer is therapy. But then, too, that person needs to understand what needs to change, or if something needs to be changed. You know, if that person, if their mother believes that the relationship there's nothing wrong with it, you can't change her belief. But what you can do is through therapy, it's kind of adjust how the relationship is going to be going forward.
Yep. Okay. All right. Any other final comments? I'm gonna leave one final comment. Anybody?
Just happy Mother's Day to all the good mothers out there.
I love it. There are some wonderful mothers out there. I know I love my mother-in-law. She's amazing. So, all right. So let's move on. All right. Let's move on. So we had a really, really heavy topic. So now it's time to change it up. Let's start with the fun game. This is the first time we're doing it, so we're going to see how it works. All right, it's called Most Likely To. All right. I think some of you guys have heard about it as a drinking game. Well, it's not a drinking game. It's our game.
They pumped out. We're going to take notes.
No drink.
Mike Winter, you know I had that glass. My shot glass was ready.
A couple of us don't drink. I mean, we could have drank some apple cider or something.
Grape juice. Hard sparkling.
All right.
Right, hard sparkling grape juice.
So, Issa, I'll let you take over. What are the rules?
All right, so the rules for this game: gather a few friends, and then we got to read the question out loud. We're going to tweak it a little bit because when everybody is supposed to name who they think would be most likely to do that question, and usually the person that gets the most fingers pointed at them would receive a point. I believe the way we're going to do it is the person that receives, I guess, the plurality of votes will receive a point. So if two of the four of us, right?
So, Jam, this will be Liz, and I'm pointing
Liz.
This way, Liz. Okay, this way. Gotcha. Liz is this.
All right.
So, let's see if we can do this. You ready?
All
you
right.
ready to play? So you keeping score. Just keeping score, East.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. Ready?
All right.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
Bring the pain.
All right. Most likely to receive their pilot's license.
Antonio.
What?
Oh man.
Damn.
I don't even have a driver's license, so
Wait, who? I can't tell who East was pointing at. You pointing at me?
No, Jam.
Or you pointing at Jam?
Jam. Oh, there's two for Jam because I raised my own hand.
Oh, you really? That's not a count.
I said Antonio.
that's
All right.
I thought that was valid.
So, all right. So 2 for Jam.
Oh, I even got. Oh, what? Get a Facebook.
So you got the score.
All right. Yeah, 2 for Jam.
All right.
And is that one for East? Was that as well?
One for Antonio.
Oh, one for Antonio.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna move on to the next one while you get the score together.
All right.
All right.
All right. Most likely be afraid of bugs.
Oh, that is so easy. Come on.
Yeah. I think we all got that one. That's gonna be this right there.
I know 1,000 times over.
I think about to put you Jam for the last one. Yeah. So
You got
Liz.
4, right?
Yeah, that's
Liz,
what
you got
Yeah.
4, right?
She did it for herself.
Yes, 100%.
All right.
All right. Ready? Most likely to steal. Oh, I got Jam.
Oh, what? Really?
Damn.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll have to go. I'm feeling this decision.
I'm thinking Julius.
You thought I steal?
No, Julius.
Jam is better than me.
Oh.
I got Jam.
I got a
Julius.
discount. All 5 fingers. 5 discounts.
Mike said he's got receipts.
He's talking about the bug thing.
I know he
He's
is.
talking about the bug.
So that was 2 for Jam. Jam, you voted for yourself?
No, he voted for me.
Antonio. Neo, what's me?
Alright, I
What
voted for
is
myself.
that?
Where are we going? We're going to 10?
Sure, let's go to 10.
Okay. All right. 10 it is.
Liz,
What is the type of thing I'm stealing? I'm trying to figure out what Mike Winter is saying that I'm a steal. Somebody's husband? What are you talking about?
What's his name from the Ravens? That's who you gonna steal. Community property.
Most likely to cheer for a team based on the colors of their uniforms. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Liz. Sorry. I'm going with Liz. Hey, Liz. Hey, me?
No, I'm saying Jam.
Jam.
Yeah.
Actually, can I switch mine? Because I agree with you on Jam.
Thank you. Come on now.
actually agree with you on Jam.
Someone, come on. Orgy.
I'm sorry. Julius, of course. Julius.
Okay.
How is it that we only have 3 votes up until now and I have 5?
So, Jam, who did you vote for?
Himself.
Oh, okay.
You gotta be honest about some stuff.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Oh, Jam is in the lead now. Most likely to do the bungee jump. I'm gonna go with me.
Jam.
I was going to say, and I think Antonio.
I'm gonna go with me.
Yep, 2 and
Antonio.
2 and 2.
Alright.
I think me and Jam would actually be equally willing to do
yeah,
that.
we probably do together. Be like, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'd be equally willing to do it. You got it? Oh, Jam's almost at 10.
See?
Right?
Alright. Let's go. Most likely to be sleepy.
That dude.
I got East big time.
Sheridan? Okay, I'll go with Sheridan. Majority
Is that
rules.
unanimous?
I mean,
Alright, that was unanimous, right?
Yes.
no, Ruben, we can't. There's not enough room.
Tandem. Yeah, I guess we could. So East, okay. East caught up. All right. Okay. Oh well, this is easy.
Oh. Alright, Liz.
This is easy. This one's like to take those pictures when drunk.
First of all, when was the last time I was drunk? The Finns taught me well.
When was the last time I was drunk? Never.
How many pictures have you guys found of me so far? Not many.
Hey, Jen, slide over a little bit. Slide your face over a little
That's
bit
the
if you
3 for
can.
Liz. Alright.
Wait, 3 for me? I'm going with Sharon.
Uh-oh.
Oh, alright.
Liz and Jam on the cusp.
Uh-oh.
All right, this might be the last one. Let's see.
All right.
Most likely
Ow.
to choose reading over watching TV. Notice, not me. Not me at all. I'm going with Jam. I'm going with Jam.
2 for Jam, 2 for Liz. Oh, it's a tie for 10.
Oh, it's high for 10. Look at that. Uh-oh.
All right.
So, yeah, okay, so Jam and Liz both. Are we saying they
What do
won
I
or
win?
lost?
Both.
What do I
You can
win?
I don't know, you should be
You
better
can
with
read.
something.
I know my phonics. How about you, Liz?
I think we should ask the audience, what's going to be the penalty next time we play this game? We should ask the audience, what's the penalty?
Toss it to the
For
audience.
the winner?
Yeah.
Gotta take a shot.
We need a
I'm not
penalty for
drinking.
lower score, audience. We need a penalty for the lowest score.
Okay. So then the penalty is you have to donate to my Chanel fund.
Listen, Chanel fund.
You have to give Liz a channel from your Amazon or give that lady a channel.
All right. So I guess that's it, right?
All right.
This was a fun show.
That was a fun show, guys.
It was a
Pretty
fun
good.
show.
Death, no time. Oh, I love it.
That was a really good show.
Oh, okay, Kevin.
Oh,
Why
thanks for
Kevin?
death, no ties.
Golden
Look at
Globe.
You don't get my afternoon.
No lotion.
We
Y'all
can
gonna
do
get
that.
cut and ashified.
All right, so let's get our final shout-outs, Jam. What we got?
Oh my gosh, we got what's up to Melanie? Thanks for showing up. My Nia.
We got a lot
Kevin.
today. Busy show
Kevin.
today.
Ruben.
Hi, Melanie. Hi. Thank you, Mama.
All right. Tasha, what's up? Ty.
Jackson, good to see you.
Yep.
How's it over in Germany? You're in Germany, right?
Yeah, he's in there. Oh wait, unless he came back yet. Shoot.
Yeah, we had a lot. We had Mel today. Busy day today.
Yeah.
Mia.
Winter, Mike Winter. That Bama Mike Winter. What's up? What's up?
Is that his nickname? Is that how that works?
I mean, we must say Bama like 50 times in one conversation throughout the day. So it's a toss-up between him and Mike.
Yeah, before we close it out, I want to make sure that people know that, you know, my wife owns Posh Cycling and Fitness. Go to Posh Fit. You can get some free virtual classes every single day. Posh.fit/live stream. Just check it out. All right, so that's our show for today.
All right.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone. We'll see you later.
Love
Yeah.
you.
Don't forget,
All you.
it's Chanel fun.
Yeah, really good show. Thanks for all your support. You know, don't forget to share. You know,
Share a
check
lot.
out the old shows, check out the new shows, share them. If you haven't already, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we're on it. It's at the NEJ show and www.nej.show. So check us
We
out
forgot
there.
to shout out to Robin Schott.
Oh, Robin,
Definitely.
we did miss Robin.
Definitely.
Yeah, we did miss Robin. All right,
All right, y'all.
love each
Hope you
other.
enjoy the rest of your day. It's been great catching up with you.
We'll see you We'll see you this Wednesday, 8 p.m. for our next show. All right.
Definitely.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's
you too.
Day.